the bench. And of course, it is stated that the minimum requirement, minimal qualification, is a CAF B license, and that's what gives you the chance to sit on the bench of any NPFL team for the new season. Now, Blyden, when I saw this story, I thought of, you came to my mind first because, you've been a proponent of playing top quality football in the country. One, and you've also been a proponent of the fact that, well, you don't actually need a license to be a good coach. So where do you stand in this conversation?
No, I think there's a mix-up somewhere. I do not think you don't need license to be a good coach. But on the other hand, having license doesn't necessarily mean that
you're a good coach. Yeah.
But it's necessary. It's just like going to school. Necessary, you'll get to learn a lot in the process of bagging license, getting those courses, teach you certain aspects of it. But on the other hand, when I look at coaching on a broader perspective of it, it's all about the decision you can make at that instant, your ability to see your instinct as a coach, your leadership qualities and the rest. So those are quite important. So that's why you have lots of quite exposed people who've gone to school are struggling to become a good coach, because it's not enough about going to school. You learn on the job also, quite some experience that comes in, and there's a group of people that are talented in it, and that's it. So I want to see a ground where talented coaches are usually supported, people who are quite talented are usually supported, and then given opportunity to back this license and train. Because basically when you look at the Nigerian setup, what's going on right now is basically that someone comes up, has more money, gets a license, becomes a coach, and not necessarily talented. And in the long run, it affects the system because a pool of talented people are not getting involved, while those that are not very talented are getting involved the most.
Right. So, UT, we've been talking about the improvement of the quality of football we play in this country, because when we go outside there, especially in CAF competitions, we do not do so well. And it's always about the quality of the football we play in the country. It's not good enough and all of that. Well, what does this mean for the consistent and perpetual urge to improve the quality of football played in Nigeria?
I think it formed the basis of the quality of our coaches, basically. Well, I understand that the fact that, having licenses do not necessarily mean you're a good coach, basically, because we've seen it even on senior climbs. It doesn't really mean you are a good coach, basically. But I think it formed the basis, and it also improves the quality of the league. It also brings our minds back to the fact that we do not tend to see, any gaffer or any person, rather, just walk into a team and, of course, coach a team. You have to have this license. However you want to have it, if you're learning it to know, or you're just learning it to have this license, you just have to have this license. And basically it speaks volume of how, the quality of our league have actually improved, and how we can actually have these coaches to know the do's and don'ts in the profession. So moving forward, it's quite interesting that, of course, the NPFL new board are bringing up these regulations.
Mary, let me add regarding the licensing too, because it's very necessary while we're saying that coaches who sit on the bench, being in charge of NPFL clubs, must have at least
a CAF B license.
A B license. It makes a lot of sense on the other hand. But we're talking about CAF. Let's talk about Nigerian setup, because my own worry is this. While we want to have the best of footballers, we're not so much helping in terms of development of the coaches. The FS are not doing that. And the economic condition is quite hard. Look at one of the consideration from a Nigerian point of view. You want to bag a coaching, you want to go through a high-level coaching course in Nigeria, you have to leave Akwa Ibom, move to Lagos, stay in Lagos. And when they talk about Port Harcourt being another center, barely really recognize. So you have to go all the distance, and probably
the long and short of it is it involves money.
Absolutely. Yes, it involves money and time. And I want to see a situation where if they mean business about training coaches, they keep the centers around, at least closer to the people, high quality centers where people are highly trained and they get these coaching courses and go ahead with it. That way we're going to have more coaches in Nigeria, and more talented people are going to go into it.
Let's talk about the FAs. Let's talk about the administrators in the country, because Blyden has taken us there. What do they need to do? What's their place in a bid to, of course, get coaches to get licenses, particularly because Blyden has talked about the financial constraints involved in trying to get, licenses. So obviously there are coaches who would love to get licenses, but they have no money, but they might be talented too. Where's the place of administrators, the FAs, maybe the government in helping, in a way?
First of all, we have to ask ourselves, how profitable is football in Nigeria? Before you ask a coach to go get a license that cost him, thousands of naira, you have to tell him that getting this will ensure he gets something in return. You don't just go and work for nothing. So I think the FA has to...
Certifications are key. In any profession.
Of course, but just like you said, the certifications, if you go to school in Nigeria, when you come out with your certificate, at least you could use it to work. But when you go for a coaching certification, when you come out, what are the chances of you getting a coaching job? A good coaching job, you get a coaching job and you're sacked within months. So I think it's really, It's coaches.
It's those sports that you're sacked in the job.
I think it's part of the job. It's part of the job.
Yeah, it's all part of the job. Yeah.
There's something I want to add in the entire conversation, Mari, while we'll move quickly. If you look at it, number of footballers raised by coaches who don't have license compared to coaches with license, probably with Aqua United and all these clubs, it's incomparable. You move to the street, there are guys that are sacrificing every day and are passionate about it. And those are the guys I think should be targeted. You move to virtually every primary school, you see that happening. And these coaches are not paid.
The football in the country is going through a rebuilding process. There's a lot that the government is trying to do right now. Fix our league, get our league on TV, grassroots football and all of that. So adding coaching, development.
No, you're talking about a brother.
Yeah, I know it's quite important.
From the states, let the state governments, the state AFAs handle that.
Yeah, but the state AFAs have got things to do. They're doing it as well.
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing.
They have things to do, huh?
They have things they're doing. That's
they really have things to do.
It's an evolving conversation, actually. And of course, we look forward to seeing how the coaches who do not have this but are affiliated with NP4 clubs go about that before Saturday, where the league is set to start. But let's move on and talk about CAF Confederations Cup. Bendel Insurance are set to be in action not tomorrow, Friday, 29th of September 2023, against former champions RS Berkane in the CAF Confederations Cup second leg of the preliminary rounds. It's a competition. They played a 2-2 draw in the first leg in Edo State, Benin City, and they're set to travel over there. We'll talk about the stories tomorrow, but the boys are there. And we'll always allude to the statement Bondi Odigi, the coach of the side, said after the first leg. Football is about participation. Well, talking about participation, Nigeria and Benin Republic broadly participated in the bidding rights to host the AFCON 2027, but they never won it. Well, the hope of Nigeria and Benin Republic having a joint hosting of the AFCON has finally ended. Both countries had been pushing and submitted a bid to host the AFCON 2025 and 2027, but they pulled out of the 2025 and gave it to Morocco. Morocco have been awarded the hosting rights, by the way, and they were just bent on and hoping that they can host the AFCON 2027, but that has now gone down the drain. Well, we hear that the joint Eastern African bid of Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania have won the right to host the AFCON 2027. Well, they snubbed Nigeria and won. Any surprises?
Well, I think, first of all, you have to look at the countries that have gotten this: Kenya, Uganda. The facilities, are they comparable to what we have here in Nigeria? We actually have very good stadiums and all of that. I don't know about Benin Republic, but I know in Nigeria we have. I'm actually worried about why they had to go through joint.
How many good stadiums in the actual sense of good stadiums do we have in this country?
We have stadiums that, first of all,
how many?
You need to get. Mary, you need to get this certificate. You need to get accepted. Your bid has to be accepted. And then you see the government working forward to, get these stadiums in good shape. That happened in Qatar before the Qatar World Cup that just happened. They had to get their bid accepted before they started working on the stadium. So I think it was going to be the case with Nigeria. But now that it has gone to Kenya and Uganda, I really much hope, I want to see what they are going to do with that.
All right, well, the Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania getting the hosting rights is the first time nations from CECAFA, that's the Council for East Africa and Central African Football Associations, who staged the tournament since Ethiopia did that in 1976. It's been a long time coming, Blyden.
Yeah, I think it's something fascinating for me. We've not really had Kenya and all these
Uganda.
countries, Tanzania, Uganda, host the Nations Cup. And what it means is when you host the Nations Cup, you have lots of demands to try to win it. Basically because you have the fans beside you. It helps to improve facilities in that particular sector, the country, the East Africa. It makes a lot of sense from my standpoint. Kenyan football has been downward in recent times. Uganda has been a bit fair, trying to keep the balance, but not high up there with the best in Africa. And we're talking about Tanzania. I can't remember remember the last Nations Cup they came, and that's something
Well,
since Manuel Amunike brought them after 50-something years not being at the Nations Cup. And it makes sense. There's another angle I'm looking at it too, but have not researched to look at it, Mari. But I think recent times, one of the complaints that's come regarding Nations Cup have been playing it by January, early January and February. And what it means is players have to leave their clubs to come, especially if those games are hosted in western side of Africa. I do not know if it gets to also affect the east, but if it's hosted in Southern Africa, the story gets to be different.
Yeah.
The tournament could be hosted during the break, the summer break, and it would make sense just as other tournaments. I really hope it's a scenario that's informing CAF to make those choices. I get to look forward to it because I'd love to see Nations Cup happen during off-season. It would make more sense instead of players going through what they go through and their football clubs.
Right, well, this is quite sure because, of course, the next AFCON next year will be hosted in January from the 13th to the 11th of February 2024. What UT final conversation? Nigeria snubbed. A slap on our face or reality check?
I think it's a reality check. We're into economic crisis. We should also understand that fact. Moving forward, I think Ofam made a very buoyant statement because there are no parameters for giving this hosting rights. Basically, both of the countries who were given this hosting rights had enough time to prepare for it. So it wouldn't have been bad if Nigeria had it. But then we should also understand that we're economically struggling, basically. So I'm not surprised that the hosting right have not been given to us. We should also have enough time to prepare well. In the upcoming, of course, tournament, we may just likely be given the hosting rights.
All right, so Morocco are set to host the AFCON 2025. And, of course, this is their way of telling FIFA that they can host the World Cup 2030. I heard they're bidding as well alongside Spain and Portugal in a joint bid. So we take our first batch, of course, here. Well, Blyden, one more thing to say before we take calls.
I think it makes sense from that angle. I do not know how it spans, but dry season in East Africa, talking about Uganda, Rwanda, Kenya, Tanzania, late June to September, and probably could be a good time to play the games.
That would make a lot of sense.
That gets to be probably why CAF are looking at it.
And it's going to be a win-win for the country and for the players because of a lot of content. As a matter of fact, I was embroiled in some clash of words with one of my European friends on Twitter a couple of days ago because they were talking about the AFCON for next year and how Andre Onana, Victor Osimhen, and the rest of the players, Sophia Amrabat, would miss that. And of course, we're talking about tough games coming up in January for these football clubs. And I was a proponent of this is our competition. Let's play the competition in peace. But he was also saying, well,
they spend the money on the players, the right players, so they have to get the benefits of that.
Exactly, and something like that, particularly. But maybe I was interpreting it to look like they were disrespecting the AFCON, and I didn't like that.
Absolutely not. I
didn't like that, so I had to straighten him and tell him, come on, when you played your Euros, nobody coughed. You did your World Cup in Qatar in December, nobody said anything. So don't come here. Let's take your calls in 090-2223-1011 and 0817-624-8567. Akwa United unveiling the jerseys for the new season. NPFL saying any coach without at least a CAF B license is not allowed to sit on the bench. And of course, Nigeria snubbed and the hosting right for AFCON 2027. Of course, we're looking forward to seeing what the Bendel Insurance side do. Well, UT, for the first time, they'll not have their black bullet in Imade Osariko. The man has left the side to join up with United FC in the UAE. Signs a 4-year deal set to earn 9 million naira every single month. How is life going to be like for Bendel Insurance?
I think it will be quite difficult for Bendel Insurance, basically. Looking at the fact that he's been quite pivotal to the ambitions they've actually gained since last season. Last season he scored 10 goals. Already this season started off on the front foot by scoring in one of those preliminary games, and it makes a lot of sense. If you allow your star player to leave at this time, a very critical moment in Bendel Insurance history, I wonder who will replace him at this point, heading to RS Bekan to play the second leg. But I think it will be quite worrisome, and they also understand, the scenario now. They understand who should, fill that gap for him, particularly. They won't sign any player, but even if they do, he won't be in time to, play against RS Bekan. So they need to, make up with what they have at this point to play against RS Bekan. They stand a 50-50 chance, but basically, I think that void is too large for anyone to fill at this point.
All right, that's a conversation from the Wish Them the Very Best. The game comes up later on Friday, particularly. But let's travel to Italy, guys, and talk stories from there. It started yesterday evening when the Napoli social media person decided to go past himself. Posted a video mocking Victor Osimhen. And of course, It's been met by so much media backlash, and Victor Osimhen's agent has even come out to say that they reserve the right to sue Napoli over the unacceptable video. Now, you've seen the video, right?
Yes.
Right. So I know a lot of us have seen the video, and of course, first of all, I mean, I know the urge to, of course, put out content for social media for engagement and all of that, but do you have to do that at the detriment of the image of your best player?
I said blatant disrespect. That's what Napoli just did. I've never seen a club's official handle doing that. You don't create content with your official handle. Your official handle is for official purposes only. You know, you post things about the team, new signings and outgoings and all of that. I've never seen a team's official handle, you know, engaging in banter like that. And your team's most important player, you know, Victor Osimhen was there at that team, you know, trying to help the team come up. And last year, they finally got their
the Serie A after 33 years.
First Scudetto in how many years, and you're coming out to blame this man because of a penalty miss, not because of a bad game. A penalty miss, Mari. We've seen Lionel Messi miss penalties. We've seen Cristiano Ronaldo, the Bruno Fernandes of this world, missing penalties. And your player misses a penalty, and you come out to, you know, make some jokes about him. I think it's not great from the Napoli team.
Now, UT, from the body language, because basically Osimhen as well has deleted every Napoli-related video, picture on his Instagram so far. So people are saying that maybe there's a bit of a bad blood between Osimhen and maybe the coach.
It doesn't really, you know, start with the coaches. I think I was showing a few of them here. The video trending right now in the social media space. He's available for the Udinese clash later this weekend, by the way.
Yeah, he's included in the squad.
Where he stepped into the club's hotel and refused to greet some of his teammates heading into that particular clash. And it's quite concerning. It looks like some of the players also have a hand in this because, I mean, this lad have actually scored several goals last season and this season. You've not posted content with that. You decided to use the penalty miss just to mock Victor Osimhen. I think it's total disrespect for the man. And of course, the status at the club side as well. Viva Kvaratskhelia, he's missed penalty before. We've not seen such content. So why is Victor Osimhen's case quite different?
Biden, there's definitely crisis in that club right now. There's definitely, you know, disparity, you know, between Osimhen and maybe the club. Now, our interest as Nigerians is Victor Osimhen, his progress, you know, as a football player, because we still want to see him perform at top level. At this point, what next for Osimhen?
Well, hard to say. Let's see how the club recovers. I think it also boils to his contract issues. They needed him to extend his contract. And one of the biggest problems in that contract, which the president of the club isn't talking about face to face with the agent of Osimhen at the moment, has been the very fact that they were having issues with a clause. They wanted to put a huge clause in there. Osimhen wanted about 100 million euros clause in there, which could afford him opportunity to move if he needs to move. And they've been in that loggerhead for a while and quite difficult. But Mari, just as I talked about the other time regarding Sancho and the coach, I'm not really going to that issue, but I think lots of players, especially from underprivileged countries, black players have to speak up, have to say a lot when they have opportunity, and not just be subjugated, because it's a clear picture of racism in this case. That video, they called him the coconut. It's a racist law. It's a racist law, which means that inside you're on the inside you're white, on the external you're brown. In other words, you've left your heritage and you pandering with white knowledge, white thinking, and the rest, and that's concerning.
That's some interpretation. Right?
Yeah, it is. It is. It's typical of what it is.
Yeah, but Napoli. Now, how shameful it is, how disrespectful. I don't want to say it's disrespectful,
but it is, Mari.
Yeah, it is disrespectful. But there's something I want to say. Now, Napoli for 33 years they had no Serie A title.
Yeah,
Osimhen pops up, scores 26 goals that season, wins them the Serie A title. Now, is there any other way to show gratitude than what this nonsense they've done?
It's just to show they don't value the player.
It's shameful.
It shows they don't value the player. I really felt last season he was a Serie A player of the year. It wasn't given to him. It goes on to show the level of value they place on this player, especially when it's making those demands.
Right.
And when you talk about just 26 goals, this man scored 31 massive goals for them in all competitions.
Yeah.
They couldn't go through the Champions League because he was injured. If he was available, it probably could have been a different story.
Of course.
Had to be a makeshift player in the second leg, managed the injury to return to play for them, scored a goal, gave that equalizer, 1-1 it ended at AC Milan, but wasn't enough. And you see how important Victor Osimhen is. Absolute disrespect. I do not know what the future is for Victor Osimhen at that club. Maybe he'll have to be sold by January transfer, because I think from the reaction I just got from a video UT just showed me,
yeah,
you could see a cold reaction, just terrible.
The man is not happy. How would you?
He's unhappy, basically.
Well, Mari, I would like to point out one thing. Rudy Garcia, this man has been a recurring decima in crisis in football. To talk about AS Roma when he was there. Talk about Al Nassr. This man benched Cristiano Ronaldo that he was not good for the Saudi league.
Right.
Come on, this is a manager that has proven that he has problems managing players. So I think it's about Rudy Garcia.
The January window is still like 4-5 months up. 3-4 months from now, so let's see what happens from there.
Still expect an apology from Napoli.
Yeah, but haven't even said anything.
Haven't said anything.
It's the effrontery for me.
Yeah, haven't even said anything.
You know why? Because
audacity.
Look, when the social media of the club gets to post this, it shows you.
Why delete it without an official statement? That's another one.
I don't care about deleting it.
Why are you deleting it without an official apology?
But it goes to show you a picture of the outlook of this player in the club.
Exactly.
Despite all he's done.
All right, let's take calls in 09022231011 and 0817-624-8565. The Man United and Chelsea fans licking their lips. He's not going to come to United and Chelsea, trust me. Good afternoon, welcome to the show. Hello?
Hello, my uncle.
Yeah, welcome, Michael. Go ahead. Add some energy.
Okay, thank you, sir. Please, what I want to say is that anything that want to play with my fans, that is Man City. Anything that want to play with Man City will win it. You win it. And anything you play that will play with England will also win. Thank you.
Thank you very much for talking to us, representing local government and the football club in England. And we'll talk about the EFL Cup as well. Well, this is a start from fun. I'll talk about that. Top Gunner. Good afternoon. Welcome, Top Gunner.
Mari, as a man come 2027 Nation Cup or outcome, allow Nigerian bid and fair. Good. To me, they don't have what it takes for such venture. With the present reality, Mari, nothing is working. Poor roads, non-steady light, high rate of inflation in the country, with only one standard stadium, Goshule Badio. Let them forget about the idea, Mari. Then allow this person is listening to sue his club for shame. He recorded. I say, no, my brother, don't do it. I know it's messaging in this gas. Let him just join us now. Finally, Mari, Bentel Insurance have arrived in Morocco for their post or win return leg. But this guy is talking tough. Here in Nigeria, always the team nearly won the match. Bentel Insurance had their dressing on their hand on this return leg, Mari.
Right.
Look at two of their key players, Mari, had left because of money. Come on, I think Friday 9 p.m. will determine the outcome. Billions now, Mari has spotted at home. I hope
Thank you. Thank you.
Mari, my friend club changed around the new share sponsor we announced it today. Good, no more failure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, Tom. Good afternoon. Call us on the line. Welcome.
Hi, Nigeria and Benin Republic not getting the host for 2027 AFCON. Well, I will not say it's a very big disappointment of us, but CAF knows the reason and why they do it like that. But my main issue is money having Napoli and Osimhen. The thing I'm like, at TV, I don't get joy go to today. I don't know the reason why Napoli to do that kind of a thing. I don't know any reason on earth. That's that kind of thing. And up to now, they have not even said an apology to the players. Well,
right.
All I want to say to do now to bring itself down and play football for them. January should not pass him by. January should not pass him by. Should be leaving that club.
Right.
Not appreciate what that guy is doing for them over there.
Thank you.
To play with them, that's when they know the importance of being president. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Name and location. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Mari. My name is Yubi Manuel.
Welcome, Yubi. Yeah, Yubi, long time.
I'm fine, Mari.
Go ahead, brother.
No, I'm not happy with that. What Napoli did. They should put some respect to Shimizu. They have not got that in the arena. Osimhen is a very top big player. You know, all the English teams, the English that book that doesn't understand, and he's a very big player. So they should see some respect. Remember, Messi Ronaldo, sometimes they miss a penalty. I mean, it's not intention, just he wanted to score. So I think he did very bad. But you've seen the problem I'm having now is my team, Chelsea. You know, what I'm, they need men. If you look at the Bayern money, you see our players we have, I think things down.
Right.
We have players that is apart from our main defender, almost 59 now. Since we need men that can perform very well.
Thank you very much. Now, Biden, in the wake of all of this, now, the transfer is going to be imminent for Victor Osimhen as January, and there would be this atom of desperation, you know, from. Talk to us about the.
At some point, we're going to get to a point where we get to see the reaction that's going to pan in the next few games that's going to happen. For example, he gets to play for Napoli, because another angle with it would be the reaction of the fans while he's playing. Because I'm expecting the fans to be cheering on him and support him in this one at the end of it.
Yeah.
And in the build-up to it, he gets to score goals. You never can tell. Things change in football so quickly. And next few months, it might just be a different story. Victor Osimhen, just as it was before. But when you consider that disrespect, most clubs are lining up. I already hear that there are links from Arsenal regarding Victor Osimhen or Ivan Toney.
You're mentioning the wrong club, Laden.
But basically, that's what the talking point is at the moment. You want to talk about the big clubs that should turn up for him.
It is not the team that brings him their leg to the last season to Napoli. Let Napoli know about it, not to Osimhen. Napoli should not be even carry that leg. In the match today between Manchester City and the Newcastle, I think my team Manchester City will be already their case sort of it, City all the way. Thank you, Marisol.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, Marisol, good afternoon to all of you.
It sounds like you're on the line.
Yeah, my brother, I'm also very disappointed, just as you guys are in the studio right now. And because when you play in Italy, you must be able to develop a very thick skin for that racist stuff that they have. It's in their blood, it's in their veins. See, let me tell you, my uncle was there. When he was preaching now, the children would be carrying his jacket to find out whether there is tail inside the jacket. They will be rubbing his skin to find out whether the skin will peel. So you can imagine the embarrassment that they made on people, you understand, that is not from their country. Look at the guy that helped them all this while. But see the reaction, see the repercussion. So what I suggest, they should leave as soon as possible by January transfer. That would be the best thing that will happen to you.
Thank you so much.
Today is my birthday.
Happy birthday, Tonero.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Tonero. All right, good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Mari. Good afternoon, Blight. And this is Jake. I'm calling from you.
Go ahead.
You know, it's saying that there is a huge amount of racism in the Italian Football League. It's like saying Arizona's name is Isaac. Glaring. Everybody knows it.
Nice one.
The point, Mario Balotelli was the most important player in the Italian squad when it comes to scoring goals.
Yes.
But the amount of racism he was suffering was stupendous. Like, racism was happening almost in every match. The guy was going serious emotional wreckage when he was playing for the Italian national team. Talk more of was with AC Milan and the likes of them. So in Italy, the thing is more of a norm. And believe me, little or nothing at all is going to happen to whoever was behind that video posted. And then it is going to happen. Victor Osimhen won't be the last player to get racially abused, because that was racially abusing Victor Osimhen because he was black. If he was white, like Richard Kvaratskhelia, nothing that content would have come up. And then a glaring example also would be giving Kvaratskhelia Serie A player of the year of the season when Victor Osimhen was a glaring option, like the only option.
All right, wrap up for us.
I'm not surprised. So I just hope he goes somewhere where his mind will be stable. Because for now, that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Hello, good afternoon, Arizona.
Sir?
My name is Manuel.
Go ahead. All right. Didn't even get your name. Well, let's look at the EFL Cup, guys. We saw games yesterday, lots of them, but we'll just center on the one happened at the Old Trafford Stadium, where Man United got the better of Crystal Palace, 3-0. Alejandro Garnacho got the first goal, Casemiro got the second, and of course, Andre Martial got the third goal for Man United in the 3 Mail victory. Yes, it's the Carabao Cup, but 2 wins for United so far, so good in the past, of course, 2 games. That's not top the 3-game losing streak they had before the weekend. This is moral booster for United heading into the weekend. And of course, the Champions League returning next week.
Well, of course, yeah. And I have a fun fact here. Mason Mount has more goals combined than any Chelsea player in September. More goal contribution.
Focus on Man United.
I just have to bring this to the hearing about Chelsea fans.
Just focus on Man United.
All right. Manchester United are back to winning ways, and I'm very excited about that. We had to see Mason Mount being deployed in his most preferred position as attacking midfielder, and I guess that's the key to unlocking this man's potential in Manchester United. The coach should not go back to playing that man as a central midfielder anymore. Take cue from what he has done yesterday and take it from there onwards.
All right, so Sofian Amrabat's making his debut for United, not playing in his natural position, played as a left back yesterday, standing sadly because of the injury issues at Man United. But what did you make of his debut at United last night?
An absolute, phenomenal lad right there. Used as an inverted left back, but still, at some point actually shifted to the middle, provided cover for the defense line moving forward. It looks like he will bring some level of midfield solidity to this Manchester United side. He hasn't played as a left back for quite a while, but did that, came off the played at Old Trafford, his very first appearance at Old Trafford. It was quite decent, and I'm also looking forward to seeing him play many games. I understand they'll still be playing Crystal Palace by weekend, so that's another test for them to showcase once again that it wasn't a flash in the pan for United. But I think they're beginning to get their momentum. Mason Mount had a brilliant comeback after that injury layoff, and it's quite important for Erik ten Hag's side.
All right, let's look at the games expected today. First of all, we talk Chelsea, Brighton, and of course, it's more like a reunion for the man, what's his name, Moises Caicedo. He left Brighton to join Chelsea, not the only person that left.
Cucurella.
Yeah, Cucurella left 2 years ago, and of course, Robert Sanchez left as well, the goalkeeper for Chelsea. It's a tale of 2 teams. 3 years ago, Chelsea against Brighton is going to be a one-sided game. But right now, Brighton are favourites for this game, Blyden. And of course, the Chelsea team are still trying to get themselves back on track. Yesterday we heard that Pochettino is trying to use the crossbar challenge to help Mikhailo Mudryk. This man has a lot to do because now everybody is suffering and he has to individually work on each player. How big a task is this man having at Chelsea?
Murray, I don't know why you never asked me the Manchester United conversation. You took me to Chelsea.
Chelsea.
And these days, the problem about talking about Chelsea is becoming rhetoric. You have to say almost the same thing every day about Chelsea because same explanation, same old. But I think Brighton are the better team and Brighton will beat Chelsea today. The good thing from a Chelsea point of view would be Nicholas Jackson should play in this one, not perform. I don't know if he'll perform or not, but should appear in this game. In the Carabao Cup, the yellow cards
is it that bad?
The yellow cards don't get to interfere, but the red card will interfere, so he'll get to feature in this one. At the end of it, I think it's a game they have to build momentum if they can. Lots of changes, just like the Manchester United game. We saw about 7 changes for Manchester United and 8 changes for Crystal Palace. I do not know if Chelsea can afford to change any player. They barely have a full squad these days. 14 players, the best they've got in recent times, and moving forward. But from Brighton point of view, I think they should make some changes with that team. No problem. They can still beat Chelsea.
But see what happens there, particularly. Of course, Liverpool take on Leicester City as well, 7:45 p.m. later today as well. Newcastle take on Man City. Well, City have got injury crisis, not for this game, but for the games coming. They have Arsenal. And it's a concern as a matter of fact, because of course it's going to be a tough game for them, judging from the fact that these 2 teams battled for the league all through last season. But Newcastle City, for Pep, it's just going to be a chance to try out Rico Lewis. There's no Cole Palmer anymore.
Matthews Nunes. Calvin Phillips.
Calvin Phillips said today that he's not been able to impress Pep, sadly.
Pep said he's not been able to bring the best out of Calvin Phillips. Yeah. So I think it's a two-way thing. But I think for Manchester City, it's quite worrisome, basically. I think Rodri should be missing this game. Yeah, he was red carded in the Premier League. Should affect this game as well moving forward. And of course, we're also talking about injury crisis as well. Newcastle boosted After that goalless draw in the UEFA Champions League, came back home, thrashed Sheffield United, and they have also built momentum from there. It should be a big game, particularly this night. But I'm also looking at Newcastle's perspective, because after building momentum, thrashing Sheffield by such a large goal score margin, many are expecting them to, of course, continue from that momentum. But for City, they have been winning, even when they have not been quite far from impressed. They have been winning games. I'm also expecting an end-to-end.
One team that has silently been showing consistency is Liverpool Football Club. Yeah. Right? There was so much concern about how they would perform this season, how they'd survive without, midfielders and all of that. But they've gotten in players and they're showing a lot of energy. Yet to be beaten so far so good this season, and that's a loss. They take on Leicester City today in the EFL Cup, and of course, last season this was an Premier League clash. That's not the story this season. But just to shock you, that Leicester in the Championship scored more goals than Chelsea in the Premier League. That's talk for another day. But Liverpool, Leicester City, what do you make of the game?
Well, Ipswich Town have also scored more goals than Chelsea this time. So, but also for Liverpool, I remember on the Saturday show, I said that Liverpool have made the most out of the transfer window. Getting players exactly where they needed them. You saw the likes of.
For real, what is the problem?
Is it that you win or you Chelsea?
No, is it that you win or you Chelsea?
Yeah. So I don't know what the meaning of it.
Yeah. I said Chelsea will go far this season, but the far would depend if they are going forward or backward. But at this stage, we don't know which one they are going to choose. But I was talking about Liverpool. They got in players where they needed them most. Dominic Szoboszlai, McAllister. In the midfield reinforcement was what was needed at Liverpool, and they got that, and they are reaping the benefit of what they got. So I think it's going to be a really great one for Liverpool this season. They have all the arsenals in their power, to go as far as they would like to go.
All right, how about the Arsenals? We hope they don't Chelsea. 09022231011 and 0817-624-8565. Reactions to predictions, by the way, to the games expected today, especially for the Chelsea fans. Well, I feel for Chelsea fans, really, because you just don't know what to expect from your football club. Right, so you need to switch off that alarm. It's ringing. Check your back there. Aston Villa, Everton, Blackburn, Cardiff City, Bournemouth, Stoke City, Brentford, Arsenal, Chelsea, Brighton, Fulham, Norwich, Lincoln City, West Ham, Liverpool versus Leicester City, and Newcastle versus Man City. Turn down the volume on your radio set. Yes. Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, I want to say something about Victor Osimhen.
Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. It's the right time for Osimhen to leave that Napoli man. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. It's time for the man to leave. All right, we'll see what happens to January. Good afternoon. Do you understand the line again?
Mary.
Yes.
Yeah. Mary, I don't know what's the problem with Chelsea. I don't know, but well, Chelsea tonight is either they win or they Chelsea. Man City against Newcastle. That game is going to be full-time draw. Then Newcastle win a penalty. Then for my team United, their performance yesterday was a fantastic one. So I want them to keep the momentum. I hope we are going to keep that balance at the weekend. They should keep the momentum going forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show. Hello. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead. What's happening? Can you call us back, please? Thank you so much. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
This is when I'm calling back again.
All right. We have 25 seconds this time.
Marisona saying, when they find the second team that we're playing with the Newcastle, I think sure that City will get the 3 points today anyhow. We know our team and I'm fan team. Whatever the second team we get, in matter of injury, of draw rate, we see the win. Winning is our aim. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you. And God bless you too as well. Well, there's Aston Villa, Everton as well. Two teams, it's been here and there for Everton so far. Aston Villa as well, not showing that much level of consistency. Well, what to do against Everton is going to be a talking point. Good afternoon, Joe.
Good afternoon, Joe. Thank you so much. My brother, even Biden, we don't want the team to contain Chelsea. And all sides to turn against Chelsea. Well, what if some of the things I believe that happens today? Well, let's see what is going to happen.
Thank you very much. Blinded in Turkey yesterday, Galatasaray played against Istanbulspor, and they wanted to do that Messi Suarez penalty assist. You remember? Yeah. Guess what? He failed. It Chelsea.
Mari.
Did you see it? Did you see it?
I refuse to say it. You have to about Chelsea. It's getting too much.
It failed actually.
Well, disappointing.
Mauro Icardi wanted to try it. You remember Thierry Henry and Robert Paris tried it at some point with Arsenal. I think he failed. Or did they score?
I don't remember. I just remember the Messi Suarez on.
Yeah, Messi Suarez on worked in 2016 and 2005. Henry and Paris tried it, and of course it did not work. I'm not sure of that, but of course, Icardi couldn't score yesterday. What's that?
And I can imagine the face of the coach.
Not just how do you miss
the fans.
How do you miss a penalty? They should be very lucky they won the game. Yeah, because
well, that's a good part of it.
Maybe TikTok. That's a story.
I will still make up TikTok anyway.
Yeah, I'll have to check that video again because something I'd love to try this weekend. Good afternoon, Tom. Gonna welcome to the show.
Mari.
Yes.
I'm gonna sue you at the court of arbitration. I headquarters to you. For you saying that it's not for Smith to come to Arsenal. Mari, please, I need information about this guy, about Pogba, his court case. I want to hear from you guys.
All right, thank you very much. We'll talk about Sancho right now, guys. There's something popping. Hello, good afternoon. All right, well, let's talk about Sancho then. Yes, Man United are confident, guys, that their treatment of Sancho is justified. The source has told newsmen despite rules against making players train in isolation. Sancho has been exiled from training with the squad following his public bust-up with Erik ten Hag. And he has been banished from the first team dressing room and the canteen, forcing the man to eat alone. Oh, my goodness. Well, under FIFA regulations, just so you know, asking the player to train on their own may result in the club being found to have engaged in abusive conduct. And, of course, the PFA are aware that there are UK employment law arguments to suggest the treatment is not lawful. The PFA had offered to mediate in an effort to find resolution in the role, but it's not just working. And United believe that the treatment of Sancho is justified. Well, we'll talk about justification with the lawyer here. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, good afternoon, UK. My last show.
Go ahead.
Yeah, on this Jadon Sancho issue, I think he's one of their highest signing of all time in the club. I think top 5, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Now, I wonder why they would subject him to such treatment because of an alleged rancor, with the manager of the team. I think there is more behind it, and I think they are even being senseless because that guy's potential is something that might be of use to Manchester United now that they are struggling in games sometimes in attack. But they have a potential like that, and they happen to have a very good manager who could have harnessed his potential to the fullest. But they are rejecting him, and then they are making him look like he's the worst person on it. I don't know, whatever issue they have, I hope they resolve it, because to be a waste for them to keep spending huge amount of money and end up having flops in returns like that.
Thank you.
They Maguire everything.
Are you a Chelsea fan? He's gone. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Hello, good afternoon.
Welcome. Name and location.
My name is Godwin. I'm calling from Marriage.
Wow, welcome, Godwin.
Fine. Thank you, sir.
Go ahead.
Please, I want to talk about Chelsea. Chelsea are not informed this season, but I pray by the middle of the season, Chelsea will do well. But for the match concerning Brighton today, Chelsea will win Brighton today. That's my take. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon.
Yes.
Kwekana the Great.
Welcome, Kwekana.
My problem is Chelsea. I think Chelsea should be restored again. Another person will come and buy them because Chelsea are suffering. I just say they should not go to relegation because today they will still face their normal loss.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You were not here yesterday, so we'll talk about it. You are quite aware of the Sancho situation right now. So I'll ask you from a legal perspective, because of course this man is getting to be legal luminary. Yeah, Joe, for those of you that do not know, Fon graduated from the Faculty of Law, University of Uyo, so I can ask him this proudly. Now, where do they draw the line? Now, and of course, where does discipline turn to victimization?
Well, I think it's
in the context of Jadon Sancho and United.
Yes, Jadon Sancho has a contract with Manchester United where he's being, allocated to a particular wage salary. Now he's paid 300,000 a week, 300,000 pounds a week. That is his benefits from Manchester United. He has also some other little, benefit they accrued to that contract. But now he has a problem with the manager, and the team has come out to say, apologize to the manager, and you are going to be reinstated back into the fold. And it is now up to Jadon Sancho to either accept these terms or not. And up to this moment, we've seen that Jadon Sancho has not done any of that. It's even recent information was that some players in Manchester United asked him to apologize to the manager. You don't do that anyway. You don't see that anyway. Coming out to bash a manager online. Jose Mourinho talk badly about Luke Shaw throughout his time at Manchester United, and Luke Shaw never did any of that. And you've seen Jadon Sancho just some minutes ago. Borussia Dortmund came out to give some statement about Jadon Sancho at Borussia Dortmund. This man was obsessed with playing games, on the console, video games. Yeah, so it's actually really sad for a player of his caliber, someone with so much potential. We actually expected a lot from this man, and now he has failed to deliver. I think it's really sad, and we hope he comes back even stronger.
All right, that's the story from here. We wish the man comes back stronger, but we also wish for an end to all of this drama, because it's not making sense. It's bringing a lot of bad energy to the United team. Anthony returns to the UK and is set to have a conversation with the police before he's reinstated to the Man United team in order to clear their name. Well, this United team have suffered a lot recently. 090-2223-1011 and 0817-624-8565. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Larry.
Yeah, welcome.
Doctor, I'm coming to attack Blyden.
Why do you want to attack? Why do you want to attack Blyden? Why?
Maybe he's my friend.
He's always disgracing Chelsea.
No, he's not. No, he's not. He's not disgracing. No, he's not. Chelsea are disgracing themselves.
No, let him say what he wants to say. He's my friend now.
Wait. Do you remember that last season, Man U were doing giveaway? Man U were doing giveaway to one team. Nobody could do anything like this. So for my sake, as a friend of mine that you are, please remember that Chelsea are having a lot of injury concerns. Let's start on us, not please. I was sure whenever you talk to us like this.
Well, can I just say something, Mary? I think you have the Chelsea goal of the month.
Manchester United finished third last season. I don't understand where the man is coming from. Finished third.
Let's
won
rest.
a trophy.
Let's rest. I'm going to definitely. I'll play football on Friday.
Okay.
I'll score. And that'll be Chelsea's goal. Because I don't think it's nice that Chelsea will go through the move without scoring. I'll score for Chelsea.
Right, trust me. The last comeback to me you did.
Lucky last caller. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show. All right. That's it for the show. Thank you so much for it. Thank you, Blyden. Thank you, UT David, for being a part of the show.
All time runs.
Definitely. Time flies when you're having fun. All right. So happy birthday to Samuel Effiong. Right, yeah. This is from Sports IT. I know Samuel myself. He's got a business at the Bar Road.
Absolutely.
Wish you the very best, Samuel.
Have our best wishes.
I'm the only person who doesn't know him. I have to know him.
I'll show you Samuel on Friday, Blyden.
Well, I hope he has nothing to do with Chelsea Football Club.
Come on, fun.
No, he's a Man United fan.
Good.
I don't want to know him anymore.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's how we have fun here. We'll see you tomorrow, 7:30 in the morning.